Unless you have been living under a rock for the past couple of days, you've probably seen PewDiePie's video on him switching to Linux. And I know exactly what you're thinking. Cool! I want to switch to Linux too. And today is just gonna be your roadmap on Linux, right? Because most people, they just go arch Linux, arch install. That's not what you're supposed to do. So it's going to be more of a beginner-friendly guide on Linux, a very straightforward guide, and I'm just going to get started. Go to linuxmint.com, click that download button. Well, you can go to linuxmint.com here, click that download button, go down here to Cinnamon Edition. So both these are desktop environments, right? On Linux, you have different GUIs. It's not like Windows. You can change everything. You can replace the head of Linux. Then you have Mate, XFCE, all of those are lightweight desktops. And then you have Cinnamon, which is straight from Linux Mint's oven, and it's very modern, right? So you can download from the World Mirror or whatever country you are in. And then once you download that, most of you are on Microsoft Windows. So Mac users, please hold on. You just gotta go to rufus.ie, download the exe, and install the program, right? Obviously. And then you need to plug in a USB. If you don't have a USB, you can't install Linux. There's no fancy way to do it. One fancy way to do is with VirtualBox. You just install VirtualBox, and instead of using Rufus to burn to a USB drive, you just go to VirtualBox, create a virtual machine. I will probably leave some YouTube tutorial on that, and you can use Linux inside a fake computer inside of your Windows machine. But guess what? Windows is proprietary, and proprietary software sucks. We all know that. So you should wipe Windows and install Linux. Of course, you can dual boot if you want to for a couple of days. But then you should always wipe Windows. So what you gotta do is go here, select the device that you want, as well as the .iso file that is get downloaded from this area here. And you can just click the start button and wipe your USB. They will delete everything inside of your USB, so make sure to back anything up. And on macOS, it's way more simple. You just use Balena Etcher. So I think it's in etcher.io, or is it etcher.balena.io? Oh yeah, it's here, etcher.io. So Balena Etcher is way more simple. You just select your ISO, select your USB, click flash, and it should do it for you. Then you enter your BIOS, which you can simply search for whatever BIOS you use. For example, let's say I use the HP motherboard. You can search for HP BIOS key, and it should give me the actual BIOS key there. Now for HP, it is the escape key, and what you do is you enter into the BIOS, and in the BIOS there should be some sort of section that says boot. And you want to change the boot device from Windows to that USB. Sometimes they will label the USB as Ubuntu or Linux Mint. Just pick the USB and make sure it's the top level. And that's how you boot into Linux. It's pretty simple. And once you boot into it, the installation is pretty simple. I'm not even going to go through it because Linux Mint is that easy to install. You just click next, 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 next. Now when it comes to the partitioning part or the disk part, you either want to click erase disk, which will nuke Windows, which will delete Windows, or install alongside Windows Boot Manager, where you can choose the size that you want to share with Linux Mint and Microsoft Windows. Once you installed in that, just enjoy it. Right, install all sorts of programs on Linux Mint and Debian based distros. You use apt as your package manager, so you do like apt install Firefox, and if you can't find a package, then you should just search for it. So you can do apt search kitty, which is a terminal emulator, and that's how you do it. Right, let me just Control C. In order to quit a command, you just do Control C, and you can customize Cinnamon. You can move around everything. Unlike Microsoft Windows, you can move around your panel, move around wherever it is. You can move to the left or right or top. You can change your wallpaper. You can change the size of the panel. You can change your icon pack, your GTK theme, all of that. You can even install a different desktop environment, like you can install i3, that's a window manager, all of that, right? And you should be done to go. You should be done with Linux. You should be pretty happy to use it. You can change all sorts of stuff. And when you have problems, you go to either YouTube, Reddit, or the Linux Mint forums, which is in forums.linuxmint.com. I think you also have the wiki of Arch Linux. Despite the name, it's pretty much good for any sort of distro. And with the package name, so package manager, that's gonna be Arch Linux specific. Everything else is good for pretty much any distro. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and bye bye.